It was a night like any other in Milwaukee, with the clock striking exactly midnight. Leila Stewart, a dedicated police officer with years of service, was prepared for another routine night at the station. The city streets, known for their challenges, were no strangers to her, a veteran accustomed to the unpredictability of the night. However, nothing could prepare her for the call she was about to receive. The station phone rang, breaking the silence of the room. Leila, always alert, answered quickly. "Milwaukee Police Department, Officer Stewart speaking. How can I assist you?" Her voice was firm yet carried a tone of empathy, shaped by years of experience dealing with various situations. On the other end of the line, a trembling, childlike voice responded, I'm hungry." The simplicity of the words carried a weight that immediately touched Leila's heart. There was something in that voice, a mixture of innocence and desperation, that made Leila instinctively realize that this would not be a typical call. "Hello, sweetheart. What's your name?" Leila asked, her voice softening even more, trying to convey reassurance to the child on the other end of the line. "Olivia," came the hesitant reply, accompanied by a muffled sob. "Olivia, are you alone?" Leila asked, signaling to a colleague that something was wrong. "Yes," Olivia murmured. "My mommy went out and didn't come back." Leila's heart squeezed. Situations involving children always struck a sensitive chord, and this was no exception. "Olivia, do you know where you are? Can you tell me anything about the place you're in?" Leila spoke, her mind already working on possible ways to locate and help the girl. As Olivia tried to provide details about her location, Leila meticulously noted every fragment of information. With each word from Olivia, Leila's determination only grew. She knew the night had completely changed. What started as a routine call was now turning into a personal mission to ensure Olivia's safety. "Don't worry, Olivia, I'm here with you. We'll find you, okay? You're not alone," Leila promised, her voice carrying a silent pledge not only to Olivia, but to herself. In that moment, Leila Stewart wasn't just a police officer from Milwaukee. She was the hope of a girl named Olivia, and that call, although she didn't know it at that moment, would change her life forever. "Now tell us your opinion. Where is Olivia's mother? And why do you think Olivia's mother left her alone? Will Officer Leila be able to save Olivia? How do you think this story will unfold? Leave your comments here with the fragmented information provided by Olivia, Leila Stewart, and her colleague Freya Martin. Leila Stewart and her colleague, Freya Martin, prepared for the mission with unwavering determination. The clock struck 1 in the morning, and the streets of Milwaukee were shrouded in silence that contrasted with the pulsating urgency in the hearts of the two officers. They knew that every minute was precious and that Olivia's safety depended entirely on their speed and effectiveness. Leila, with her sharp experience and intuition, attempted to connect the dots from Olivia's vague descriptions. She mentioned a park near her house, a disused bakery on the corner. "This has to lead us somewhere," murmured Leila, while Freya quickly typed on the notebook connected to the car's GPS system, trying to cross-reference the information with the city maps. "I'm trying to locate any bakery that has been closed in recent years, but there are several possibilities," Freya replied, frustration evident in her voice. "And about the park, that helps, but we need something more specific." Leila's determination, however, remained unshaken. "Let's start with areas that have both a park and a disused bakery. That should give us a starting point." The streets flew by as they drove, with Leila at the wheel and Freya navigating. The dark night and the silence of the city seemed to unite against them, but the duo's determination cut through the darkness like a beacon. "There, look. That park seems large enough to be what Olivia mentioned," said Freya, pointing to an area illuminated on the notebook map. Leila nodded, turning the wheel towards the park. "And if we follow this street, we'll pass through an area where there used to be a bakery. Let's check there." Hours passed as they combed the area, hope and anxiety intertwined at every corner. They turned with each dead-end street, with each house that didn't match Olivia's description. The tension mounted, but Leila wouldn't let discouragement take hold. "We'll find this girl, Freya, no matter what happens. We won't give up on her." Finally, after what felt like an eternity, a promising lead emerged. a modest house situated near a deserted park and 2 blocks away from a bakery with boarded-up windows. Lila's heart raced. "I think this is it," she said, her voice laden with hope and urgency. They exited the car, approaching the house cautiously but with firm steps. Leah's determination, fueled by courage and compassion, had led them there. Now they faced the unknown, hoping that on the other side of that door they would find Olivia safe. The night had been long and full of challenges, but Leah Stewart's unwavering determination shone like a beacon of hope in the darkness. When Lila Stewart and Freya Martin finally approached the indicated residence, what they found surpassed their darkest predictions. The house, shrouded in the darkness of the night, emanated a sense of abandonment and despair that hung heavy in the air. The 2 officers exchanged a glance of tacit understanding before Lila knocked on the door with firm determination, her heart pounding with apprehension. There was no answer. "Freya, I'll check the window. Cover me," Lila said, moving cautiously to the side of the house. Peering through the window, the scene that unfolded before her eyes made her heart stop. Olivia was huddled in a corner, clutching her knees, while a woman, presumably her mother, lay sprawled on the floor, a picture of desolation. "My God," Layla murmured, her voice a whisper laden with emotion. She signaled to Freya, and both acted quickly, forcing entry into the house to render aid. Inside the house, the air was thick with a mixture of fear and hopelessness. Olivia looked up, her eyes large and brimming with tears upon hearing the doors open. "Please help my mom. Right after I called you, she came and collapsed on the floor," she pleaded, her voice trembling, breaking the heavy silence. "Olivia, we're here now. It's going to be okay," Lila said, approaching cautiously so as not to frighten the scared girl. Freya, meanwhile, rushed to check on Sarah, immediately calling for reinforcements and an ambulance. As Freya tended to Sarah, Lila knelt beside Olivia, offering a comforting shoulder. "Your mom will get help, sweetheart. You were very brave to call us," she said, trying to offer some comfort to the frightened girl. Sarah, still unconscious, was the epitome of the despair that had consumed the family. The circumstances that led to this situation were still a mystery, but the priority was clear: to ensure Olivia and her mother's safety and well-being. As they waited for the ambulance, Lila and Freya worked to secure the scene, ensuring that when the paramedics arrived, they could act swiftly. The house, once full of life, was now a grim reminder of the adversities faced by some families. "Ambulance is on the way," Freya announced, turning to Lila and Olivia. "Let's make sure your mom gets the best possible care." The night had been long and fraught with challenges, but in that moment, Lila and Freya knew they had made a difference in Olivia and Sarah's lives. The road to recovery would be difficult, but together they had taken the crucial first step towards a new beginning. While they waited for the ambulance to arrive, Leah Stewart sat beside Olivia, the girl whose eyes reflected a mixture of fear, relief, and a maturity forced by circumstances. The silence between them was heavy, laden with the reality of the situation they had found. Leah, with a soft and comforting voice, encouraged Olivia to share more about what had happened. "What's your mother's name, and can you tell me what happened, Olivia?" "You can trust me," Leah said, offering Olivia a look of understanding and support. Olivia, hesitant at first, began to speak, her wavering words gradually gaining strength as the story unfolded. "My mom, Sarah, she lost her job at the factory a few months ago. It was very sudden. One day she was there, working as usual, and the next, they said they didn't need her anymore," Olivia began, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her shirt in an attempt to find comfort in small actions. "We tried to get by with what we had, but soon there wasn't enough food at home. My mom, she also needs medicine, you know. She has this condition, and the medicine is expensive. Without the job, it became even harder to get what she needs," Olivia continued, tears starting to form in her eyes as she struggled to maintain composure. Leah listened attentively, her heart squeezing with every word Olivia shared. It was a story she had heard in many variations, but each time it struck deeply, reminding her why her work was so important. "You've been very strong, Olivia. Your courage in calling us, you saved your mother," Lila said, her voice laden with emotion and admiration for the strength of the young girl before her, Olivia looked at Lila, her eyes meeting the officer's, a flicker of hope shining faintly within her. "I just wanted to help my mom," she whispered, a simple statement that carried the weight of the world Olivia had been forced to carry. Lila placed her hand over Olivia's, a gesture of solidarity and promise. "And you did help, Olivia. You did exactly what needed to be done. Now it's our turn to help you both," she assured, determined to do everything in her power to assist Olivia and Sarah in rebuilding their lives from that moment of crisis. The conversation between Lila and Olivia not only revealed the harsh reality faced by the girl and her mother, but also strengthened the bond between the officer and the young girl she had sworn to protect. In that moment amidst adversity, a connection was forged, a silent promise that together they would face whatever came next. The distant sound of sirens filled the air, growing louder until the intermittent glow of red and blue lights bathed the small house in an urgent flash. Leah Stewart, standing beside Olivia, looked at the girl, trying to offer a reassuring smile, even though her heart was heavy with the gravity of the situation. "They're here to help," she said, her voice firm but full of warmth. Olivia, with wide eyes filled with uncertainty, nodded silently, clinging to Lila's hand, as if it were a beacon of hope amidst the storm that was her life. At that moment, the door opened and a team of paramedics entered, carrying equipment and a stretcher. They moved with calm efficiency, trained to handle crises, but the expression on their faces as they assessed Sarah and Olivia spoke volumes about the seriousness of their condition. "We'll take care of her," said one of the paramedics, a middle-aged man with kind eyes, addressing Olivia as he crouched to her eye level. "Your mother will receive the best possible care, I promise." As Sarah was carefully lifted onto the stretcher, another paramedic, a woman with a compassionate expression, turned her attention to Olivia. "And you, dear, let's take a look at you too, okay? It seems like you two have been through some very tough times," she said, examining Olivia with a flashlight, noting the pallor of her skin and the frailty of her body. Malnutrition and dehydration were evident in both mother and daughter, a violent testimony to the adversities they had faced. "We'll need to take you both to the hospital for further tests and treatment. We'll make sure you stay together," the paramedic continued, her voice gentle but authoritative, offering Olivia not only the promise of medical care but also of support that had long been lacking. As Sarah was rushed to the ambulance, Olivia was wrapped in a thermal blanket, her hand still holding tightly to Lila's. "I'm going with you," Lila declared, her voice leaving no room for arguments. She knew that her role that night went beyond police duty. She had become a safe harbor for Olivia, a promise that she would not face the next chapter of her life alone. The journey to the hospital was quick, but filled with tension and silent worry. As the vehicle cut through the night, Lila kept her gaze fixed on Olivia, whose tired eyes reflected the exhaustion of a long and arduous battle. However, there was also a glimmer of relief, a spark of hope that despite everything, help had arrived in time. In the hospital waiting room, the muffled sounds of hurried footsteps and hushed conversations created a constant background noise, but Lila Stewart and Olivia were in a world of their own, sitting side by side, enveloped in thoughtful silence. The clock on the wall ticked away the passing time, but for them the minutes seemed to stretch indefinitely. Lila, noticing Olivia's distant gaze, which alternated between hope and fear, knew she needed to say something to comfort the girl. "Olivia," Layla began, her gentle voice breaking the silence between them, "I know this all must seem scary right now, and I know you're worried about what's going to happen next." Olivia looked at Lila, her eyes reflecting the uncertainty she felt. I don't want to go to an orphanage. If I leave here before my mom," she murmured, the vulnerability in her voice tugging at Lila's heart. Lila took Olivia's hand in hers, offering a comforting squeeze. "And you won't," she said firmly yet gently. "I promise you, Olivia, that's not going to happen. I will take care of you temporarily until your mom gets better and you can be together again." Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes, not of sadness but of relief and gratitude. "You would do that for us?" she asked, almost disbelievingly. "Yes, I would," Layla confirmed, her unwavering commitment evident. "And not just because it's my job to protect and serve, but because I see how strong and brave you and your mom are." I want to help you get through this together. We'll find a way to get through this tough time." Olivia leaned against Lila, allowing herself for the first time in a long while to feel a bit of security. "Thank you, Lila. Thank you for not leaving us alone." Lila enveloped Olivia in a hug, a gesture that transcended the formalities of her role as a police officer. "You'll never be alone, Olivia. I'll be with you every step of the way." Layla's decision to care for Olivia wasn't just an act of professional compassion. It was a personal commitment that would change the lives of everyone involved. She knew challenges lay ahead, but she also knew that together they could face them. This promise wasn't just a temporary fix. It was the beginning of a journey that would transform their lives in ways they couldn't yet imagine. Sarah and Olivia were both very ill. However, Sarah was worse off due to the lack of medication for an extended period of time, so Sarah had to remain hospitalized, and Olivia went every day for follow-up. During this time, Olivia stayed with Lila, who gave her love, care, and a lot of attention. In the hospital, Sarah's room became a sanctuary of healing, softly lit by the daylight seeping through the partially opened curtains. Doctors and nurses, with their regular visits, brought not only medications and treatments, but also words of encouragement and smiles that brightened the environment, fostering an atmosphere of hope and renewal. Sarah, still weak but growing stronger each day, looked at her daughter with eyes full of gratitude and love. "Olivia," she began, her voice still a fragile whisper, I'm so sorry for everything. I promise that when we get out of here, things will be different. We'll rebuild our life together." Olivia, sitting by her mother's bedside, held her hand tenderly. "Mom, the most important thing is that we're together and safe now. With the help of Lila and her husband, I know we can overcome anything." Leah, who was standing by the bedside, watched the exchange between mother and daughter, feeling a wave of emotion as she witnessed the unbreakable bond that united them. Her husband Sebastian, by her side, placed a hand on her shoulder, sharing the moment of silent understanding. "Sarah, Olivia," Sebastian said with a warm and welcoming voice, "we're here for you, not just as temporary support, but as friends who care deeply. The road to recovery may be long, but you won't be alone." The days in the hospital were marked by steady progress. Therapy sessions, both physical and emotional, helped Sarah and Olivia confront and begin to overcome the traumas they had faced. Each small victory was celebrated. Each step toward recovery was a cause for joy. On a particularly bright afternoon, while Sarah rested, Olivia and Lila whispered quietly by the window. "Lila, I don't know how to thank you. You've changed our lives," Olivia said, her eyes shining with tears of gratitude. Lila smiled, squeezing Olivia's hand. "There's no need to thank me, dear. Helping you, seeing you recover, brings us more joy than you can imagine. It reminds us of what truly matters in life." Sarah's recovery in the hospital, and Olivia's with the unwavering support of Lila and Sebastian, was a testament to the power of human compassion and the strength of the human spirit. They not only recovered physically, but also began to heal emotional wounds, paving the way for a new beginning full of hope and possibilities. The day Sarah was discharged from the hospital dawned bright and sunny, as if the sky itself were celebrating the new chapter beginning in their lives. As they left the hospital, a mix of emotions filled the air: relief, hope, and a hint of anxiety about the future. Leah, who had accompanied them to the car, couldn't help but feel overwhelmed with deep satisfaction at witnessing this moment. "I can't believe we're finally going home," said Sarah, her voice choked with emotion as she tightly held Olivia's hand. Olivia, with a smile lighting up her face, looked at Lila. "We would never have made it without you, Lila. You've been by our side through every tough moment." Lila smiled, helping Sarah settle into the car, making sure she was comfortable. "Seeing you two healthy and ready to start anew is all the thanks I need. It means everything to me. Remember, I'm here for whatever you need, always. You're like an angel who appeared in our lives, Leah. We won't forget what you've done for us," said Sarah, her eyes shining with tears of gratitude. Lila closed the car door carefully and stepped back a bit, giving them a moment of privacy. She watched the car drive away, feeling a wave of emotion. She knew that Sarah and Olivia's journey was just beginning. but she was confident that they would overcome future challenges with the same courage and determination they had shown so far. Upon returning home, Lila shared with her husband, Sebastian, the news of Sarah and Olivia's discharge. "They're finally back home," she said, a pure expression of contentment on her face. "I feel like we've truly made a difference in their lives." Sebastian, embracing her, agreed. "You did, we did. But most importantly, they know they're not alone. And that, my dear, is the greatest gift we could offer." In that moment, Lila reflected on the journey she had taken with Sarah and Olivia. The satisfaction of having made a difference in that family's life was immense, but she knew her support wouldn't end there. Lila had promised to always be there for them, and she was a woman of her word. The promise to continue supporting Sarah and Olivia whenever they needed wasn't just a statement of intention, it was a profound commitment, a bond that would unite them regardless of what the future held. Several months had passed since Sarah and Olivia returned to the normalcy of everyday life, a period marked by challenges but also significant victories. The greatest of these victories came on a bright Tuesday morning when Sarah, with a smile that barely fit on her face, received the news that she had been accepted for a new job. It was a position that not only promised financial stability, but also the chance to rebuild her and her daughter's life with dignity and hope. "I can't believe it, Olivia," exclaimed Sarah, overcome with emotion as she read the confirmation email for the third time. "This changes everything for us. Finally, a fresh start." Olivia, sharing her mother's joy, hugged her tightly. "Mom, I always knew things would get better. I'm so proud of you." It was in this scene of renewal and hope that Lila continued to make her regular visits. Each visit was an opportunity to reinforce the bonds that united them, a blend of genuine friendship and unconditional support that had blossomed between them. During one of these visits, while savoring tea in Sarah and Olivia's renovated kitchen, the conversation naturally flowed to the events of the past few months. "Layla, I don't know how we would have gotten through this without you," said Sarah, gratitude shining through in every word. "You were more than a friend. You were our light at the end of the tunnel." Layla moved, held Sarah's hands. "Helping you made me realize the true meaning of compassion and empathy. Seeing you two rise up has transformed me in ways I never imagined." For Lila, those visits and the time spent with Sarah and Olivia weren't just acts of kindness. They were powerful reminders of the impact compassion can have. Sarah and Olivia's journey, marked by adversity but also resilience and recovery, had indeed transformed Layla's life. She became more aware of the power of compassion and empathy, values that now permeated every aspect of her life, enriching her own existence and that of the people around her. Their relationship had become a living testimony to the transformative power of support and unconditional love. For Layla, the call that initially led her to Sarah and Olivia had become much more than a gesture of help. It had become a shared journey of growth, learning, and, above all, true friendship.